Welcome back, art friends. I have a very interesting contemporary artist for you again today. This artist is a British artist named Damien Hirst, and he does some very unusual artwork, something that I've never even heard of before. So, let me show you. I think that's probably the easiest way. So I have my little Chromebook here, and here is a picture up on my screen of one of Damien Hirst's exhibits. And this is a tiger shark, and it is floating in formaldehyde, which is this very interesting chemical that's supposed to keep things fresh. All right, so it's floating, it's suspended in this liquid, so that the people who go to Hearst Museum can walk around the shark right next to it. Wow, can you imagine? He also has all sorts of other animals in the same way at this museum. It's something I've never heard of before. And I thought, why would he do that? But I think it's because these creatures are so amazing and beautiful that he just wants everyone to have the opportunity to get up close and really study, use their observation skills. So that is the theme of our lesson today. We're going to use our observation skills, and although we can't go to his museum, it's probably closed right now anyway, we can look at this shark, we can look at sharks and other fish or creatures at home, and we can really take time to observe them. We have a little bit of time here to think about what they look like. What shapes do we see? What things are familiar to our mind and to our eyes that will help us now take a moment to draw them? So let's do that together. Are you ready? All right, so you're gonna need just a few supplies today. You're gonna need a pencil and an eraser, perhaps a bigger one if you think you might make big mistakes. I have one right handy here. And if you have it, I recommend watercolor pencils because they're much easier to color in some of the colors and around the eyes and maybe even the gills with a little more detail. But if you don't have watercolor pencils, it's okay. You could use watercolor paints. That would be really nice. You can tell mine have been used a lot. It's kind of messy. But you could use colored pencil or marker or whatever you want, because the real goal today is for us to use our observation skills to really study the shark and then try to draw one ourselves. Okay? So that is the goal. So pencil, paper, watercolor pencils or colored pencils or watercolor. All right? I'm going to pause. You pause the video and grab your things, okay? All right, welcome back. So, I thought the best way to start is to really think about the overall shape of the shark. And what do you see? Maybe you're saying triangle, because that's the first thing I see too, actually. I noticed that he has triangles on his back. He kind of has these triangles, if you think of them next to each other or butting up to each other. On his tail, there's two little ones back here, some more fin, another fin here, some more fins here. He has lots of triangles, doesn't he? Some are a little curvy, some are more straight, but they kind of tell your mind he's got lots of triangles. All right. Another shape, though, I see is his whole body shape. So just think about the shape of a fish or a shark or a whale. What shape does your mind see or think of? Maybe if I draw it this way, what shape is this one? What is that shape? Yes, a teardrop or raindrop, right? It's pointy on one end and kind of wider like an oval down at this end. Now you're saying, Mrs. Eichhorst, he doesn't have that oval shape right here. Nope, he doesn't. But my mind tells me that it's skinny here and it's wider here. So it's narrower by the tail, wider by the mouth. All right? He also kind of has a triangle on his nose too, doesn't he? It's kind of pointed, like mine. All right? And his teeth, of course, are super pointy and triangular too. So with those shapes in our mind, I know we can draw this. So let's give it a try. I picked a nice dark, this one is a 2B pencil, meaning the lead is a little softer than a regular pencil, so hopefully you can see it. So I'm going to sketch, and you can see I already started sketching this kind of teardrop on its side, all right? And if I wouldn't be teaching you in a video, I really do miss our classroom. I know you do too. I can't wait till we're together again. I would probably tip my paper up so it's easier to make my teardrop. So you might want to do that too. Turn your paper vertically and try to use most of the paper. Now I'm not going to finish the teardrop here because I know that it's going to be his mouth and teeth, okay? But now I have my basic shark shape, all right? And if you want to, you can make his belly a little bit wider down here. It's up to you. It's your shark, right? The next thing I want to tackle is his fin on the top, all right? I think his fin looks like a triangle, but there's something about this triangle I want to point out to you. So I'm going to erase my teardrop real quick like so I can show you. I think his shark fin, this front one, is kind of an S. It's a little curvy. So it starts like this and kind of comes down like a snow hill or something. All right? So it's sort of like an S, not as curvy, but a little bit. Do you see that slope? So I'm going to add that on mine. Right here, I'm going to start up here in the middle because I think it's kind of in the middle, not by his nose, not by his tail, right in the middle. And I'm going to sketch, and I would be sketching much lighter, boys and girls, if I were doing this for me. But I really want you to be able to see what I'm doing. So for you, go light till you know it's right. It's a lot easier to erase. But I already started sketching, so I can help you out. All right? So I have this kind of ski slope or like a tobogganing hill or sledding hill going all the way up to his face. All right? Now the back of that fin is not smooth. It's sort of jagged. So you can make yours however you want. You can make it smooth if you want to, but I'm going to make mine a little jagged and kind of more of an organic line. Remember, organic means natural. It's not like perfect, like out of a computer or something like that. All right, and now I can erase this part of his little teardrop back. All right, so now we have the fin and part of his head, and we're ready to keep going toward the tail. Let's keep going. So I'm going to sketch a little darker now toward his tail, and I'm going to stop, and I'm going to, again, make that same sort of ski slope slide, like maybe like a slide on the playground. It's like a little slide, like an S, right? I'm going to do that with this tail fin too. So I'm going to start out here, and I'm going to come down. All right, so it's just a little slight curve, right? So you can go sledding on this, the back of him, all right? And we can erase all this stuff later, don't worry. So I'm going to take out some of this teardrop now. I don't need that anymore. One of my favorite ways, let's see if I have one, to erase is to take a paintbrush, a nice clean one, and just sweep it off, because then you don't smear your pencil with your hand. Just a little trick. There you go. That one's free. All right, so next I'm going to add this little tiny, tiny triangle fin. Miss Q probably knows what those are all called. Maybe you guys do too. I bet you do. You should have studied that a little bit, but I was more interested in how to make this guy. All right, so I have his little fin, and again, this side is more smooth. The other side's a little bumpy. All right, So we have this fin, this tiny fin, and part of his tail. Now look at this tail. Do you see that? Like it's a little curve and then it goes in. So it looks like it could be a triangle right there at the tip. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to come down. I'm going to kind of suddenly go in. And then I'm going to make the bottom of his tail fin. This one's a little jaggedy too. And you can decide. It doesn't have to be exactly like mine, you know. All right, so we're going to make that tail fin. Okay. And now it's connected and I can erase a little bit more of my teardrop line. So now you can see it's coming along, right? It's starting to look like a shark. Now there's another fin almost under, but not really. It's closer to the tail, isn't it? So see, we're using our observation skills to really think about how this shark should look. So I'm going to add this little fin, and it's a little jaggedy too, right? And I'm going to erase a little more of my teardrop. So as I go along, I can erase those guidelines, that teardrop, and it kind of helps it to start to take its shape, right? All right, next we got another little funny fin. This one down here is between the tail and this top fin, right? It's somewhere in there, closer maybe to that top fin, right? So somewhere along here, and it looks like it has like a little extra stick out. I don't know what that is at all, but I'm gonna include it. I'm gonna come down and I'm gonna add that on. It's not quite as sharp looking. It's actually a little curved. See, my mind is really studying and thinking. My eye is saying, oh, I noticed this and I noticed that. So hopefully your eyes and your mind are going to do the same thing. Maybe you even have a shark book at home. That would be cool because then you could really study. So that's the point of today's lesson, boys and girls, is to take a little time and study something and then draw it. What your mind sees, what your eye sees, what your hand can do. Put it all together. All right, and I see that his belly is nice and full. So I'm going to kind of curve it out a little bit again. I can always erase my guidelines. And now I'm going to make this, these two fins. This one is also a little curvy, isn't it? So it starts up here on his belly, and it kind of comes down like this, like a back, another kind of S curvy slide shape, right? It's like a backwards one though, right? So there we go. So it's kind of curvy too. Do you see that? Because it's pushing him through the water nicely. And it comes all the way up. It's a curvy fin with a point kind of at the end. All right, and that one, at least on here, looks pretty smooth, but it might be a little bumpy too. Now I can, again, erase some of this teardrop. All right, so as you go, you can add lines and take them away with your eraser. The lighter you draw, the more easily it will come off. Okay, so go light till you know it's right. Remember, Mrs. Eichhorst today is going dark because I really want all my friends at home to be able to see. All right, I have another little fin right there. This one has like a little C shape under here. So I'm gonna make that. And then I'm gonna make the curve again. So I have my last fin, all right? And I have his belly coming through here. And his mouth, ooh, it's kind of scary, isn't it? And his mouth, well, it's sort of like a backward C, right? It's all open, it's like a little cave. So I'm gonna start over here and I'm just gonna kind of connect it. And up here, I'm gonna add this point up here. So it kind of goes up like this and then around, I think, kind of like that. And you can see where that other triangle kind of is, but it's rounded. All right. And there's a little extra here. And lots of teeth. Those are like zigzags or little triangles. There's some behind and some in front. Yeesh. He's a scary guy. All right. All right, and then I'm just going to give him an eye. Nice circle, beady little eye and a little nostril there. And he's ready for color. Oh, you're right. I forgot one more thing. I forgot these little gills there, right? So I'll add those. They're kind of curvy, a little bit bumpy. They're not perfect. And he's ready to go. I'm going to sign him. And then I'm going to take a little time this afternoon and I'm going to color him and I'll post it when I'm finished. But I don't want to do that for you. I want to give you guys time to color yours and finish drawing. So let your eye and your brain work together to tell your hand what to do. Use your good observation skills, friends, and please be sure to post your work on Glitter and Glue with Mrs. Eichhorst Facebook page, or you can send it to me at eichhorstc@mtcps.org, and I'll put it on the website. All right? Thanks, friends. I know this was a little bit longer, but I hope your shark turns out great. All right. Thanks again, and see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.